Hello paddlers. Well, life has taken me to the west suburbs of Chicago yet again, and I find myself in Bussy Woods. Now, Bussy Woods, I don't know why, but I've never quite taken this real seriously as a kayaking destination, but after doing a little bit more research on just how vast this woods is, I've reconsidered that, and here we are. Let's go. Might be my first Cook County egret. It's a damn good size egret too. These urban egrets are no chickens. Let me get pretty close. I could paddle through there to the other side of the path, but nope, that's okay. Plenty of water over here to explore. One of the reasons I never really took Bussy Woods seriously as a kayaking destination on my visits to Northern Illinois is the sheer location of it just doesn't seem like it could be that big of a deal. About 2 or 3 miles to my west is Woodfield Mall, and maybe about 5 miles to my east is O'Hare Airport. So it just doesn't seem like there should be this much of an oasis in the middle of that urban sprawl. But it's a 3,500 acre forest preserve in Cook County, and the water itself is only about 450 acres, but I'd say so far it's a really interesting 450 acres. It's not just a small lake. There's a lot of there's a lot of surprises around the next corner. It's not like you could just see the whole round lake from one spot. It's a lot of meandering marshes. Certainly has so far exceeded my expectations of this oasis in the middle of an urban area. The place is just full of egrets. As I came around this corner, I'm suddenly reminded of where I'm at. Still, it's surprisingly quiet. North and south Bussy Woods is separated by 72, which is Higgins Road around these parts. Most of the water you can paddle in Bussy Woods is going to be south of 72, but we're about to go underneath Higgins and see what we can see up there. I don't think a ton of people paddle north of Higgins. I've only seen a handful, but smart egrets hanging out way over here. It's a gorgeous Saturday morning in Chicagoland, and when I came down immediately after work on Thursday to the suburbs, I really had no plan on where I was going to paddle, and I only brought one boat with me, which is my sea kayak. I really kind of thought that a sea kayak on Bussy Woods was going to be so overkill, it was silly, but that's really not my experience, and I'm pleasantly surprised about that. The water is extremely low right now, and there's been a few spots with a lot of weeds and spots that have been somewhat shallow, but it's not rocky anywhere. Certainly a lesser boat would have been perfectly doable for this lake, but I'm not sad. I have my sea kayak. When I look to the skies here, I do see a lot of jets overhead headed to O'Hare. But honestly, I expected a lot more noise being this close to the airport. But no, pleasantly surprised. My personal history with Bussy Woods is that back in my early 20s, many decades ago, Bussy Woods was like the place to hang out. It's where all the kids that were cool, or at least thought they were cool, just kind of pulled into the parking lot and hung out and socialized, showed off their cool cars. I wasn't quite that cool. I didn't have a cool car, but none of us ever used the forest preserve for what it had to offer. It was just a gathering place. So 2024 Bussy Woods, much better experience. Oh, I was just about to comment on how clean this lake is considering the urban area that surrounds it. And then I saw this metallic object glistening out of the corner of my eye. Can't have that. Oh, that'll be a challenge to reach that. Let's see what I can do. If I get the right angle. And while I'm here, holy clams! Who would have thought clams this big would live in Bussy Woods? Not me. There's a live one up here too. Oh, nope, that one's not live. There's another one. I was a very young person growing up here. I thought this kind of thing only existed, I don't know, far, far away from me. Not right here in the West Suburbs. Not acceptable. Ugh, it smells bad. I really should start carrying something sharp with me when I paddle, because I just had to use my teeth to deflate that thing. Bussy Lake is part of the Salt Creek waterway. That dam that we just passed was constructed and this whole area dug out in 1978. So very much relatively a new lake compared to the waters that I paddle, created by dams. To be honest, when I was a youth here hanging out in this vicinity, I didn't even know there was a lake here. In my defense, at the time, the lake would have only been about 10 or 12 years old, so maybe Bussy Lake just wasn't getting the PR that it needed to create awareness. But then again, maybe I was just too busy trying to be cool to really care a whole lot. something I just learned about Bussy Woods within the last hour, actually, that would come to no surprise if you live anywhere near this vicinity, is that there's an actual elk pasture in Bussy Woods. There's been elk here since 1924, since they were kidnapped from Yellowstone and brought to the pasture. Ever since then, there's been a handful of elk, and they introduce new ones every now and then to keep some genetic diversity within the herd. Holy shit. Literally. Well, if this isn't a good advert for fake coyotes, I don't know what is. There's virtually no crap on this side. I think they need to invest in another one of those over there. That wraps it up for me today at Bussy Woods. I can't say that Bussy Woods is a hidden gem because anybody and everybody that lives around here knows it exists. But for me personally, it was just kind of hidden in plain sight for some reason. I just never considered this one of my destinations while I'm down here visiting. I have another day to spend in the Chicago suburbs before I head back to Wisconsin tomorrow, so maybe I'll find one more destination out here before I hit the road back home. Thanks for coming along with me today, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe so you don't miss any of my next adventures. I'll see you next time. It's Mexican Independence Day, by the way, on Monday. The Latino Volkswagen Bug and Bus Club, something or other, is having some festivities in Bussy Woods.